Well, good morning. How you doing, YouTube slash Facebook, Twitch TV, comment? Well, probably just Facebook and mainly YouTube. I'm just doing a couple of tests on a build that I'm doing at the moment. I've done a couple of. I've basically got the parts, put it together, mucking around with it. I've still got to put a few things in here. I've got to put some fans in here. The fans got to go in here. I'm going to add a few more things. There's some graphics card stuff that this guy or the client that I'm in question, I've got a graphics card that he previously had, so I'm going to put that in there as well. It's got basically, it just came with a basic set of components, which, you know, was good. There's basically a 6-core AMD, which is great. That's the motherboard it came with, obviously. Power cord and everything else. At the moment, I'll probably have to add about 2 or 3 drives. Most likely, and I've got enough room in the case anyway. I mean, it's not a majorly big case, but it's not a majorly small one either, so I'm not majorly griped about it, but that's alright at the moment. I'm just mucking around with it. Running some burn-in tests for my own satisfaction. I mean, I think the place that I got it from does a general test on the components just to make sure they're all good. But I mean, it's not reconditioned components, so they're brand new, but temperatures are pretty good. Pretty happy with the temperatures. It's not too bad. I'm pretty adamant with those. X out of that. Let's go up to the settings anyway. It's a 6-core, which I have to get an OS on here. There is an OS that can go on was it Windows. I think he's got Windows 7 on his original OS. So I'm going to try and put that on there if I can. Just checking the motherboard and everything else, but everything's on the motherboard seems to be nice and functional. At the moment, I'm just leaving it on the motherboard screen just to test and see how things work, and just leaving it running, basically. At this point, still in the process of being fixed up. There's a few extra bits and pieces I've got to add to the system. Obviously, there's a graphic card, a few hard drives, and everything else. The case isn't massive, so I mean, depending on what you're doing, I mean, he wanted it for the games he was talking about. I didn't think this system would have a problem doing them, to be honest. So yeah, it's not too bad. I'm pretty impressed. At the moment, it's running pretty well. I'm just waiting at this point, running a few tests on it. I'll probably running some burn-in tests. I might even boot up a hard drive at some point and just run some general burn-in stability tests, just for my own satisfaction. So far, so good. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the way this is working. At this point, I'm waiting to get his PC so I can grab some of the components, older components from his computer. Well, they're not older. They're about the same, roughly around the same age bracket sort of thing. There's a couple of hard drives and things like that have got to go in here and things of that nature. So that's basically what's got to happen. At this point, we'll see how it goes. There is a hard drive in there. I don't know. As I said, I'll talk to him about it anyway, but it should be okay. I mean, look, at the end of it, I was able to I'll fix it up all nice and neat for him and everything else. Put a what do you call it? A couple of fans in there, which I've got a few different types of fans. I got a ton of fans, to be honest. And I'll find a couple of smaller ones, because there's a couple of smaller ones going to go in the back. That area probably 120 maybe. We will see. I'll see exactly what. I know I've got some fans anyway, so that's not a problem. I've always got spare fans. So for the moment, I'm just going to leave it, let it run for the moment. I'll probably be testing this for the time being, just to make sure everything's working, and I'll probably swap out a graphics card that he's got in his system and put it into this system. Swap out a couple of hard drives and things like that. I can fit about 3 in here, which, to be honest, you know, that should be sufficient space for everything. If not, I may have to rebuild it into that. I don't know. I don't know. So at this point, I'm not sure. Or I may have to rebuild it into one of the bigger cases. I don't know, but I don't think so. I should be okay for the time being. Should be fine. So I'm not majorly griped at this point. I'm just mucking around with it, doing what I can, and so far so good. At this point, everything's working. The motherboard's working the way I expect. Fan speeds are not too bad. Noise level's not too bad on the case either. Yeah, so pretty good. aside from that, this is going to be a project build that I'm going to be doing myself. Maybe in the future, possibly. I will be doing my own 6-core at some point. This is a 6-core, by the way. This one in here, it's an AMD 6-core. So, we'll see. Anyway, just see how we go. For the moment, I'm just going to leave it, and I'll get back into everything else. I've been doing a couple of things around the house this morning. Depending on what I have to do, I don't know. I may swap and change some components with different things. Depending on the situation, I'll try to give him the best possible experience and the best possible stuff. I'll swap everything and just maybe add a few components and stuff and things like that. So we'll see how we go anyway. Alright, thank you very much, and catch you, YouTube. Bye. Some tests at the moment. This isn't really an official version. Well, it is an official version, but now just you need to activate it every time. It's it's just a version I put on a USB hard drive that I keep on one of my diagnostic drives just to be able to test things and make sure everything's working properly and things of that nature. So, it's basically just more of a test platform than anything else. So let's see. 3.5 gigahertz, 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is good. So far I'm seeing pretty good stuff with it. That's all good. Close that. Just check my temperatures, which they should be okay. To be honest, I've probably got to do a couple of installs on this system to be truthful. Temperatures, yeah, temperatures are looking pretty good. Voltages are looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. Some internal drives are showing up. Well, obviously there's this main drive. That other drive won't show up until the point that I format it. But there is a drive on there, obviously. But that's alright. I still have to put his drives on here, so we'll see how that goes. Depending on the situation, of course. Let's see. So there's a bunch of drivers that's still getting. So that's okay, that's fine. There's disk drive. So as you can see, there is a drive there. So that drive is registered. That's in the system at the moment. But yeah, no, that's alright. That's pretty good. I'll probably have to get my USB stick and run a bit of a test for my own benefit, because I want to just generally run some burn-in tests on it. Normally it's a stability test in most cases, which is an older version of what I want, but that's alright, it'll work anyway. Just basically, I just want to test the hardware, pretty much. Okay. Plug this in. There we go. It should register pretty much straight away, most likely. I mean, unless that's USB 2.0, so that should be fine. There we go. Okay, so there it came up. That's good. It's just doing a bunch of installs for the drivers at the moment, so. Okay. Product keys, what else we got? I was like, let me just have a look and see if I can find the program I want, because I want to double check, see how well the system is running. Come on. Portable apps, that's it. Yeah, there we go. Everest. And I'm just going to run a stability test with an old version of Everest, but as long as it works, that's the main thing. Okay. Now, let's see, stability test. There's a stability testing which you can just stress. I won't bother stressing the hard drive, I just want to stress the main parts of the computer. So we'll start and see how well we go with that. I'll just open this. Okay, why is that? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we'll just stress test that for the moment. I'll leave that to the side, sort of there, and I'll leave that there, sort of in approximation to each other, sort of thing. So we'll see how that goes, obviously. 34, 49. As I said, I like normally leaving things running for a little bit. So, I mean, it hasn't got all the drivers on there. Obviously, when I actually get his OS drive, which that's what I'm gonna use, I'll obviously make sure it's it feels pretty good. As I say, I'll probably. I mean, this is just basically a basic test, just to see if everything can take a little bit of stressing and stuff. It's for my own benefit, and it's sort of just to determine if things are working correctly. I'll leave that running. It's been running for 1 minute 24 seconds, so I'll leave that running for a while, and I'll come back and check it. Well, when I get the chance, I'm going to put air conditioning in here, because especially I'm going to need that during the summer anyway, particularly with computers in here and stuff like that. So I'm going to definitely put air conditioning in here. I just haven't had much of a chance. We're sort of still clearing it out and everything else, so that's still in the process at this point. 41. Yeah, the temperature's not too bad, so we'll see. I'm just going to run a test for my own benefit. It's basically just stressing the RAM and the CPU and things like that. Just basic tests. I mean, it's nothing substantially high, obviously. It's more for my own curiosity. No, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. There's some temperatures. I mean, there's some temperatures that make sense, some temperatures that don't, but let's see. It makes sense though. 59, that's 44. Okay. Well, we'll see anyway. It should be okay though, I think. I mean, let's see. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember specifically with AMD CPUs. Well, I mean, the original cooling in there is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. It's just the original cooler that I'm using. So temperatures aren't too bad. So that's back anyway. That's why I'm probably going to put a fan in there anyway to cool the system. 43, 58. Oh, we'll be alright. That's alright. So average 52. Okay. That's 44. So the core temperature for the package for the CPU itself is good. I don't know. See, I may not be getting very accurate readings, I think, personally. I'm just guessing. I mean, this is Windows 7. It's probably more not designed to have that, but that's alright. For the moment, I'll just run a bit of a burn-in test just to see if everything works. Some of these temperatures should be okay. It should be fine. I'm just having a quick look. Stop that anyway. Well, the temperatures aren't good. The core temperatures of the package of the CPU aren't concerning me too much, so they're actually pretty good. Obviously, outer socket temperatures are a little higher than I would expect, but no, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty average for like fan cooling and stuff. So I mean, at the end of it, the type of games you described to me are not majorly stressful on the system at the end of it. So unless he's going to be doing a hell of a lot more, well, you know, really, really intensive stuff. Like I'm talking about really, really intensive. It has to be pretty intensive, to be honest. So that's alright. That seems okay. For the moment, I'll see. I may have a better cooler lying around that'll work for that. I don't know. I'll have to have a look. I have a couple of different coolers. There's the original one which is on there. I mean, the original ones are okay for that particular CPU, but you're always going to find there's always going to be a temperature difference if you have a bigger cooler with a bigger heatsink and stuff. So I will see. Maybe I'll swap out a cooler. I don't know. I will see how it goes. Just the stock standard cooling on the system, but tests are revealed to me that it didn't freeze or anything, or didn't die in the arse, so that's a plus side. We'll just see if we have sound. We should have sound. Yep, we do have sound. Let's install the drivers for it. Yes. Okay. There's nothing fancy for the sound. High definition microphone. Hello, hello. Obviously this microphone's a bit... Yeah, this microphone has issues anyway. I'm not too worried about that, but as long as it's picking up something... Most people buy a decent USB microphone these days. Action Center, obviously. Well, obviously we'll run some tests once I get his... there's not really many... I do have a couple of games on here, I guess, but there's not really a lot of games I can test. Maybe a video. Let's see if that works. Okay, so that seems to work. Yeah, that works. Yeah, the videos work. What else we got? Maybe I could test a game, depending. If I can find a game. I know I have some games, but I don't know where they are. Boot, programs. Work-related files. Work-related stuff. What do I need? I need games folder. There we go. So let me just try a random game, because I don't know whether it'll actually work. I don't know whether I've got the proper stuff installed on this OS to do anything. But a basic game doesn't require a fancy amount of try say maybe GTA. See if that works. It'd be funny if it actually did work. I'd be surprised, because that'd just be unusual if it actually worked. No, I don't think it's gonna work. Nope. Maybe try Assassin's Creed. Oh, it's got files it's gonna install. Shit. I just want to test a game, basically. I just want to test at least one game. I can't really test a game until the point I get his yeah, it's 3D graphics requires that, because the drivers need to be installed. So maybe this one, Postal, maybe, we'll see. Let's see what this does. That didn't work because it's 3D. It requires 3D acceleration. No. Okay, so most of these require 3D acceleration of some type, so at the end of it I'd have to put a graphics card in to test most of this. I don't think that'll work either. Yeah, I don't think that'll work either. Crash. Yep, can't render. Right, so that makes sense. The graphics, the onboard graphics on the motherboard aren't great, so to be honest, I'm going to be more inclined to grab his graphics card from his computer, from his old computer, and put it in here. That won't work either, I don't think. Let me try it. Doubt it. Yep, it crashed. It crashed like a motherfucker. Okay, that's fine. Okay. No, I'm gonna say, yeah, there's definitely, I would say most likely nothing's going to work up until the point that I get the graphics card for it. So that's fine. That is not an issue. At the moment, I'm mainly just doing testing to see if the system will boot into Windows. It works fine on Windows 7 from what I'm seeing. Reboot test. Basically, his last motherboard was having a lot of issues and just generally working and generally doing anything. So, well, not his it was his motherboard. Yeah, it was his motherboard that was the main issue. So I just said, she said, could you build me something that's going to be able to do the games that I want? Which he pointed out some of the games that he wanted to play, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I felt the budget that I sort of went with on this was close to, what you would want to in that sense, You got a computer that actually works properly. So hold on a second, let me just reboot this computer. Unfortunately, as I said, I don't know, like, at this point, I just have to put his graphics card in, a few fans, which I'm going to do that. I may change the cooler, I may not, depending on, because the airflow in there isn't great at the moment, because I have got not really any fans in there, in the system, aside from maybe the power supply fan, and that's probably about it, to be honest. But the actual system itself has got, it's got the bare minimum requirement components to sort of do basic stuff. If you want a graphics card and everything else, you can put that type of stuff in. I can always put a graphics card in, that's not an issue. But I need to get the graphics card that he had, which, his graphics card's not too bad. So we'll see how it goes anyway. It's not a big issue. Come on. It's probably because it's booting off a USB drive. It's going to be sluggish booting it directly off a USB drive. I think the drives he's got has a Windows 7 install on it. It's like a 1 terabyte or something, or 500 gigabyte or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look anyway, but that's alright. That's not a big issue. Apparently he's got a drive with Steam stuff on it and everything else. So see how it goes. Verifying DMI pool data. Kind of curious. It could be the fact that I'm trying to boot off a USB drive as well. I think it's partly related to that, because I'm trying to boot off a USB drive, and I haven't got everything to test the system properly up until the point that I install an OS on it. Which that's fine, I can do that, but let's see. Okay, that's interesting. I'm thinking that's most likely because I'm trying to boot off a USB drive. Yeah, I'd say so. Okay. Restart that. Sorry, I'm just restarting it because it's having a couple of problems booting off my USB drive, but I'm not majorly concerned about that. I'm more concerned about it if it has problems booting off an actual drive when I put an actual drive in there. At this point, it's kind of stuck in the air because I can't really do much up until the point that, yeah, there we go. See, it worked. So yeah, it worked the way I expected it to. So, it's slow booting off this USB drive anyway because it's meant to be a USB 3.0, but I mean at the end of it, it's it's booting directly off the drive, which is the main thing, which is what I wanted. I can get into Windows and do some testing, basic stuff like that. Obviously I've got to put a few more fans in it and things of that nature, so it's going to be relatively slow though. It was slow before booting up, but once I got into Windows it was fine. But I know having a drive directly linked into the system, it's going to be a lot faster. I know that. It's just the fact that, well, you get those moments where things don't go exactly as planned. Let me see. Alright. So, just have a quick squeeze. Just want to check something in this system. Yeah, we've got plenty of space in there for a few drives, which is good, which is fantastic. At this point, just tests, pretty much testing and getting everything just right for it. I'm gonna have a muck around with it a bit more and have a bit of a play, and we'll see how we go. Obviously, I got my own extra SATA cables and everything else that'll go with it to plug in those extra drives. They're going to be in there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's developing so far, but anyway, that's obviously it's not genuine, but obviously because can't really activate a USB version of it, but it's just a temporary version anyway for the moment anyway. So let's see. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I may connect to the internet at some point. Close that. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Just gonna put some desktop icons on there. And apply. There we go. So yeah, no, everything seems to be working pretty nicely so far. I'm pretty impressed with that. As I said, it's more a case of me doing some customizations to it, pretty much, which is, bare minimum sort of stuff you do with this type of computer. Probably stick another couple of fans in there, maybe. Things of that nature. So yeah, we'll see what direction we go in with it at this point. So yeah, all good. Alright, anyway, thank you very much, YouTube. Catch you and goodbye. Hello YouTube, how you doing? So yeah, I've been doing this custom build for a customer. Basically, I use the configuration of some of his old parts combined with some new parts that I ended up getting and putting into a new case. As you can see, not too bad, pretty snazzy. I don't know whether you can actually see the other side of this, but actually see inside it and everything else. And so yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of it. At this point, it's still a work in progress. I'm putting Windows stuff on it and Windows software and things of that nature on there. So I'm just waiting for that to install at this point. Also, maybe probably do a scan on the computer, but it shouldn't be a problem anyway. But just installing basic software on there, installing Windows updates and such. Let's see. Close that, and then it's just installing some updates at the moment. Also, we'll be installing some updates for the system, for the motherboard as well, which should get most of the drivers. I mean, if it doesn't get any of the driver updates, that's no problem. I can try it later anyway. That's not a big issue. It's just doing download for virus definitions at the moment, and I just got to download that. I was going to try. Basically, one of his other drives, I was basically having an issue trying to transfer the Steam folder over because the drive's failing. So I don't know whether he might have to re-download his Steam games. That's the only thing, the only annoying part that I came to, which was, it happens unfortunately, but can't always be helped. But he's got 2 hard drives on there now. They're both 1 terabyte, one for his Steam games. One for his Steam games and one for his main OS and everything else. So yeah, he's got 2 drives on there. One for storage, pretty much sort of storage combination, and he's got obviously his main drive on there. At this point, I'm just doing some updates. I'll wait for that to pretty much install. It's in the process of going through it anyway. It's pretty much the entirety. As you can see, put that back in there, and away we go. It's pretty much ready to go almost. I just have to, I've copied some of the system files back on for him that were on there, which, as you can see, there's a few files on the desktop and stuff like that. All I did was organize the app shortcuts into a specific folder, and that's about it. So yeah, for the moment, he should be okay with that. Everything should be fine. The rating on the system is it's an AMD FX 6300 6-core processor, 350 gigahertz, 8 gigabytes of memory on board, and yeah, so you should be pretty happy with that. Probably end up doing an index rating on this at some point. downloads folder, which has got those on there. Probably have to download the latest. I'll probably have to download the latest driver, which the latest driver for the 260 series. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm gonna have to go and look on the actual website. Hold on a moment. Let's see. www. eBay. www.nvidia. nvidia.com.au. So pretty much at this point, just got to. I'm gonna put. Well, I'll probably put. I'm not putting the latest driver on here, but I'll download the latest driver anyway. Just made the system. Okay, so upgrade you. Okay, so I can't use this browser. That's. Well, no, maybe I can. Okay, never mind. Or maybe I can't. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to have to get the later browsers. That's not a problem. At this point, it's just doing updates, so I've got to install a couple of other things on here as well before I'm finished. At the moment, it's not up to Service Pack 1, so we'll see how it goes anyway. That's not a big issue. At this point, though, I'm not doing too bad. I'm running pretty well, so we'll see. So far, I'm pretty happy with the end result of this and the way it was working. So, let's see. No, that's pretty good. That seems pretty good. So I've done that one. That should be okay. Oh, I'll be right back. Alright, so sorry, I just had a second there. My dad came in because I didn't want to disturb the recording too much. So let's see. Pretty much at this point, I'm just doing a bunch of updates, which obviously it's pretty much waiting for Windows to update. So I've done that. I've done everything else on here pretty much that needs to be done. At this point, I probably end up downloading the latest driver for the system, which is Windows, which is the latest NVIDIA driver. Oh, it's not the latest. What is that? Is that the latest? So that's, I don't know whether it's the latest. I'm going to have to actually see. So, installing 20 of 25. So at this point, it should be okay. I might run the 99 installer. Yes. Let's just run it. It installs basic software package, which is freeware software mostly. It's all pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much all freeware. Maybe one or two programs that you might have to pay for, but they're free to scan and they're free to clear the system, basically. Okay. I agree. I agree. Should be okay. Throughput on the internet's pretty good at the moment, so that's the main thing. So I might have to run a sync check anyway, but that's alright. So it's downloading, so it's downloading Chrome, Firefox browser. There we go. It's just downloading it at the moment, so that's alright. Okay, and that's the the Workbench computer. If you're wondering what that is, because that's the Workbench computer. This is just because I had two monitors. I figured, well, what the hell? Why the hell not? I'll have a second monitor for doing, being able to do other computers and install operating systems and stuff on them and things of that nature. So, let's see, 24 of 25. Okay. Still downloading. Stick that in there. I'm going to leave that there anyway. Close that. Okay. Wunderbar. Very beautiful. Alright, so there we go, that's good. I can now do whatever I want with that. I'll just wait for these to install first. We'll make sure these install properly. At this point, that's just the last piece of the puzzle I've got to do. So that's right, that's just Skype. I'm not too worried about Skype, that's cool. And then I don't really care, as long as the scanner works and everything else is the main thing. And let's see. Okay. What I might do though is open up Chrome. I don't really care about the sign-in page. All I want to do is go to Google. There we go. I go to Google and actually NVIDIA. Okay. And get the latest driver. Oops. Go back. Shit. There we go. Alright, so let's see. 10 series, 9 series. What series is this? This is the 200 series. 260, I believe. Pretty sure. Search. Alright. Apologise, that's my air compressor in the background. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to download. It's just downloading those drivers and downloading this latest stuff here. So at this point I've got everything I need on this computer virtually. Maybe a couple of little things I've got to fiddle around with, most likely. So let's see, with that one. So I'm just waiting for that to download. So pretty much that's just it. I mean, there's a few things I've got to do with this computer, but it's pretty much ready to be picked up by the customer at some point. The only issue I was having is not being able to get the Steam files off the drive that he gave me because the drive was pretty much dying, which is rather frustrating, but it's not really much I can do about that. Unfortunately, if the drive is completely or almost dead, it's just, yeah, it's going to work better if I I just want to make sure I've got a copy of that. Then there's some downloading some stuff here. It's obviously installing, waiting to install, which is Shockwave and a few other bits and pieces. And, you know, general stuff that you would put on the system. Just a few Curtex players, a couple of free painting, editing programs, Malwarebytes, you know, a couple of the basic things for just different purposes. What else we got? That one's okay. It's perfect, actually. So at this point, I know I've got Steam on here and everything else. So all that stuff's on there virtually. Just waiting for that to download pretty much. And for these to download. So we'll come back and check that later. Anyway, this is pretty much... I mean, the computer's pretty much ready to go. It's got everything. I mean, that wireless dongle won't obviously go with it because I've got a different wireless dongle. I've most likely he'll connect it straight into the network, so it shouldn't be a problem. I don't, because his other computer didn't have a wireless dongle, so yeah, I don't think this one's going to need it either. So at this point, We'll see how it goes. And yeah, no, it's looking pretty good. Feeling pretty good too. All right, catch you, and thank you very much, YouTube. Bye.